Alright, how's everybody doing? This is the Comic Samurai. I want to welcome you to my next video, and tonight we're going to be looking at some comic books that I think deserve a second chance. These are comics that I had out for other videos, and they just didn't make the cut for one reason or another. Maybe they didn't fit the narrative, but for whatever reason, I couldn't put them away without letting them enjoy a little time in the sun. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First up, we got this Iron Man number 144, and I wanted to feature this one in my Halvesy video. It's got a beautiful image done by Bob Layton, and I love those. You get to see Iron Man's new iron there and his old classic gray armor. I just love those. It's two images for the price of one. Love that Bob Layton cover. Next up, we got Jennifer Blood, number 3, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted to show this one in the Caboose cover, the Sexy Babe cover, or the photograph cover, because I think it is a digital photograph. But for whatever reason, I didn't show this one in any of my videos, and I wanted to show it off a little bit here. What a great cover that one is. Next up, we got Justice League America, number 45, and it's got a beautiful image of Guy Gardner kissing ice, and I should have included this one in my kissing video. That's a fun one. Next up, we got X Factor special, Prisoner of Love. And there's Beast planting a kiss on a female lead there. I love that. Great colors on this one. It's another one that I wish I could have included in my kissing video. Next up is The Adventures of Superman, number 525. And this one's got a beautiful image of Superman and Lois Lane sharing a moment. Oh, I like that one. I wish I could have included this one again in my kissing covers. Next up, we got Superman number 243, and this wraps up my kissing covers. It's got a Neil Adams image of Superman planting a kiss there, and this is one of my favorites. My all-time greatest kissing cover. I wish I could have included it in that video. Next up is the Inhumans number 8, and this beautiful cover done by Jay Lee features that Lockjaw Inhuman who's shaped like a giant bulldog. And I wish I would have included this one in my funny comic book covers, but I didn't notice that little fire hydrant back there. Lockjaw is a huge dog. I wonder how tall he is, probably 4 or 5 feet. But he makes that little fire hydrant look teeny tiny, and you almost feel sorry for it. I wish I would have noticed it, because it is a pretty humorous cover. And the fact that Lockjaw's image is kind of fading out. He's got the ability to teleport, so here it's like he's fading out of existence. That's funny. Next up, we got Red Sonja, number 1, and I wish I could have included this one in my Sexy Girl comic covers. I love this one. It's a beautiful image of that redhead there, and what a great way to kick off her first independent series. Next up, we got Codename Strike Force, number 13, and this is another one that I wish I could have included in my Sexy Babe covers. I love that image. Look at the suit that female figure is wearing on that one. It's a great example of how wardrobe can complement a comic book cover. Next up, we got Black Kiss trade paperback by Howard Chaykin, and this is another one I wish I could have included in my Sexy Babe covers. Love that image. It's black and white, and nobody can do that like Howard Chaykin. He loves to make suggestive covers, and he pulled off an excellent one there. Next up, we got Fantastic Four Annual 18, and I wish I could have included this one in my wedding covers. It does feature the wedding of 2 of the Inhumans, Black Bolt and Medusa, and you can see them in the background there, but this is a beautiful John Byrne cover. And I wanted to include it in my wedding video, and I wanted to include it in the John Byrne run on Fantastic Four, but he did so many that I figured I'd just stick to the main issues here. But this is a beautiful one that I couldn't leave out. Next up is Alpha Flight number 40, and this has got one of those beautiful Marvel 25th anniversary covers, but it also features a wedding inside. You get to see Namor marry Marina. And they do have a wedding in this one, and it's a great comic book. Next up, we got Ghost Rider number 16, and this one I wish I could have featured in my Infinity covers. I love that image of the Ghost Rider's skull opening his mouth with a skull in it, opening his mouth with a skull in it, all the way to infinity there. What a great fun Infinity cover that one is. Next up, we got Namor number 11, and this is another John Byrne cover here, but it's a great leg cover. I like all those legs stepping on Namor there. It's kind of a black and white one too. They just use tan, and they put that symbol on the cover there. It's got a lot of things going for it. That's a great cover. Next up, we got Flash, number 217. And this is one I wish I could have included in my black comic book covers. Love the stark black in the background, or my different alternate versions where you've got all these different versions of the Flash there talking to each other. This is a brilliant cover, and I wish it would have got some time in the spotlight. Next up, we got World's Finest number 212, and I wish I could have included this one in my punching covers. That image of Martian Manhunter landing a right hook to Superman's jaw is just a beautiful image, and they're isolated with that beautiful yellow background there. Really does draw your eye into that conflict. Next up, we got DC Special Series number 16. This one, believe it or not, features the death of Jonah Hex. He does meet his demise in this comic book, and you probably guessed it, I should have included it in my Death series. Next up, we got X-Men number 95, and I cannot believe that I left this one out of my Death in comic book series. This is the death of Thunderbird. That Native American X-Men does meet his maker in this comic book. It's one of my favorite Death comics, and I left it out. So, wanted to show it there. Next up, we got Justice League America number 40, and this one does feature the death of Mr. Miracle here. You'll see that this is his tombstone here, right on the cover. And this one is another one I should have included in my Death series. Next up, we got Flash number 324, and that Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom or whatever, and the Flash have just a great dichotomy and contrast each other so well. I should have included this one in my alternate versions there. You got the yellow Flash. I love how their costumes are just, the colors are swapped. Everything about them. That's just a great comic. Next up, we got the Flash number 323, and I should have included this one in not only my black comic book covers. I love those deep, flat blacks there, but my alternate versions going face to face there. It's another great example. Next up, we got Flash number 225, and yet one more example of the Reverse Flash fighting Barry Allen's Flash there. And just a great image of those two. It's even a symmetric cover there where you've got those two images. You can almost fold it in half. Next up, we got Misery Special, and this one, put out by Image Comics, would have been a great eyeball cover. I love the eye on this one, and it's a twofer. You get skulls in the reflection of the eye there with the blood dripping. It's a beautiful cover that spotlights an eye, and I should have included it. Next up, we got National Geographic Volume 167, number 6, and I just wanted to show this one. I know it's not a comic book, but if you'll indulge me, I remember growing up with this image. My parents had a subscription to National Geographic, and when I saw this one, the eyes on this cover here are just captivating. Those beautiful, haunting eyes there. They did a follow-up on this years later where they found this refugee here and took another picture of her, and you could see that the years had not been kind to her. She had lived a life, and I had loved to hear her story. Anyway, I had to close with this image of those beautiful eyes. They are haunting. Let me know if there's any other covers I forgot in any of my videos. Thanks for joining me, and have a great night.